Do I? Why is your stamp? But I snapped it. This is the county. Oh, so they're going to the state? Yeah. This is the state. I didn't have to tell you. That's what I did. Yeah. And then you sign. Yeah. I know, I was, that's like, I know exactly what that is. I have that.
It's right. Thank you all for joining us this evening. As always, no decisions were made in executive session. Can I just have a motion to resume the regular order of business? Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we are now out of executive session. We are going to continue on with the Finance and Facilities Committee.
Yes, we met on Monday, September 8th, and we had a presentation from Dennis Datino. He provided the committee with an update on the 2024 and 2025 budget. There was a request to highlight major expenses, and the finalized budget update will be provided to the full board in the October timeframe. We also had items for consideration and approval, i.e. resolutions. The committee had an in-depth conversation on each of the resolutions being brought forward at tonight's meeting, which I can vouch we took it. And then we had some informational updates. The committee received an update on the sports field improvements. We discussed the details of the LOI for Fishkill. A finalized lease will be brought forward for approval in October. Dennis Datino updated the committee on the sale of the T41, the Cessna 172, and the N7889 N plane. The committee was reminded of upcoming events, the board retreat dates in February 2026, and the date of our next committee and board.
Thank you very much. And we have one presentation for
Yes,
this
we have.
evening. So I will turn it over to Jason and Joseph. Thank you very much.
So I wanted to grab your time just to talk. What are time? So I'm going to turn most of it to Joe, but I wanted to start off to talk about strategic investments, to let you know that that IT has been running very well with all of the different projects that we have going on. A few months back, we had an approval for UPSs, and I'm happy to say that we were able to install UPSs in Bound Hall as well as SSB. And in addition to that, we are in the final stages for the airport as well. So that will provide some more reliability for the buildings and ensuring that we have network resiliency. Secondly, I want to talk about laptop deployments. We received our full shipment of laptops as well as our monitors. And I'm happy to say that we've prepared 312 laptops. We've deployed 258 so far. Faculty and staff have 123. And the monitors, we have 246 that are going out now. Finally, all of our servers and video storage stuff has also come in, and now we are in talks with the vendor on installation. We're scheduling installation dates for those, and we will start configuration and preparation for the video equipment that's going in, as well as servers that are going in at Fishkill and right here on main campus. So the other part of this presentation is the main piece of it, and I wanted to give most of the time to Joe so that we could talk about how important cybersecurity is and improving our posture and hygiene here on campus. So, Joe, over to you.
Great, thank you, Jason. Good evening, everybody. The email one first. I was asked to give two presentations tonight. One's going to be about 5 minutes, the other hopefully around 8. This is a control that we're looking to put in place here at Dutchess. Right now, we have a setting enabled that allows people to automatically forward emails externally from their Dutchess email to a private third-party email. And that's a practice we're looking to stop. It's been identified by multiple third-party assessments as a vulnerability. A lot of SUNY institutions and all of CUNY do not actually allow this. So I'm going to just demonstrate some of the items here. So what is automatic email forwarding? The mailbox owner basically can create a rule that says, every email I get, send it to Gmail, as an example. Now, the email will get sent to your SUNY Dutchess email. It automatically goes to the third-party destination, which is an unsecured destination, and that's a problem for a bunch of reasons. What are the risks? This bypasses our protections and controls that we have here. The main risk is the unauthorized disclosure of FERPA-related information, which is an environment that we curate here. And when it's automatically sent externally, that is broken. It's also inconsistent with SUNY's new information security plan, which I'll talk about in our next presentation. It's a new plan that SUNY has sort of enacted starting September 1st of this month. And it's basically telling us to put in strong safeguards for email and a bunch of other things. Lastly, this actually enables persistence on compromised accounts. And what that means is that this has actually happened here where a student email gets compromised and the attacker or whoever owns this mailbox now creates a rule that says, send it to my mailbox. And then they go through and reset passwords and they gain access to other accounts through their SUNY Dutchess account. All the while, those emails are not coming to the mailbox owner because it's being deleted as part of the rules. And this has actually happened here more than once. And that's just an example of why this really needs to stop. So this is a 90-day snapshot of where a lot of these rules are sending emails to. It's obviously overwhelmingly Gmail. That's what we see a lot, but you can see that none of these are business related. In fact, over 73% go to general. There's a lot, as you can see, it goes below 1%. A lot of the legitimate use cases that we see are for adjunct professors that try to send Dutchess email to their high school account sometimes. So again, we want to sort of join the other schools that are doing it. There's many that couldn't fit on this list. Brockport, New Paltz, Potsdam, all of CUNY schools have this disabled. It's also strongly recommended through SUNY's new information security policy. And industry-wide, it's just generally acknowledged as a risk that most people do not want to have in their organization. And what about the students? Well, they're overwhelmingly the most that use this. It's a convenience feature. They want everything consolidated onto their Gmail. We see a lot of them doing that, but we need to set the expectation and assume and make our students use their SUNY accounts. Those are protected, monitored. We control their sensitive information and protect it that way. If they send it to their Gmail, we don't know who has that password or access to that account, and that's our problem. They, again, overwhelmingly are the majority in that, and we want to send out a communication to the campus that will notify all users that we are going to disable this feature when appropriate. So key takeaways, this is obviously a big risk and exposure to the college. It's something we'd like to take a proactive step on before we keep seeing compromises, and that's only on the student end. We haven't had a known compromise to faculty or staff, but you can imagine if a person with a lot of access gets compromised in this way, what can happen. And this is part of many other conversations we're going to have with cybersecurity, which brings me to the next slide. But I'll pause real quick.
So you know, this is industry business practice, best practice. And I've actually removed that ability from my previous institution about 4 years ago. So we're a little bit behind when it comes to this, so we really need to move forward with it.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So is there any questions on this before I move on? Does anyone not understand or have any just extra questions?
So one of the things I want to point out is that this will affect the way that trustees now receive mail from the college, right? Which is,
If we send a message through a distribution list, it won't, because it's not a rule that says, send all of my Dutchess email to my Gmail account. Now, if anybody here has a SUNY Dutchess account, they can set that rule that says, send it to my Gmail. If you have that setting, it will impact you. But as far as communication to your third-party email address, that won't change. That we can still send email to Gmail. You can actually have your out-of-office replies work, and you can still forward mail internally. So if you're out and you want your colleague to get mail, that will work fine.
We just don't want it to be done blindly. So we're turning off the automatic feature.
Right. Yeah, there's no discretion. It passes every piece of information outside of the organization, and that obviously is not, it's not good. So that's what we're trying to prevent. And yeah, so if there's no other questions, next presentation.
We're almost done, we promise.
Yes, sorry. All right, so I was asked to create a update on strengthening and protection efforts with regard to cybersecurity. I've been here a little over 2 years now and have really focused a lot of my time on that. So we're going to go through some of the high level features. Modern cybersecurity, I just wanted to get some items out there that help us understand and try to simplify some things. Cybersecurity basically means a risk to our critical data and assets. So when I say that, it's just essentially risk is what it really comes down to. And unfortunately, there's no such thing as 100% security. Prevention is very difficult. I just went through that slide. You can see some of those features may introduce some friction. It's very difficult to do preventative maintenance, but detection ultimately becomes critical. We want to know when something happens as fast as possible. Cyber risk is actually business risk. However you see it, it used to be an IT problem. It's now a business problem, because if we get exposed or ransomware or have some sort of attack, it impacts our business. So those are synonymous nowadays. And the question that CISOs and security professionals ask themselves is the value and benefit worth the risk and exposure? It's really like a balance. So that's what we're trying to do here. So challenges and concerns currently. Phishing attacks, which are the fake emails that you get trying to ask you to do and release information. Data breaches, a break in our systems that relieves some sort of information, and then ransomware. It's just unauthorized encryption and hijacking of our data. And obviously securing this environment is very difficult. We thrive in academic freedom and information sharing, and that's very difficult to manage while keeping compliance with all the frameworks and guidelines we have, like GLBA, FERPA, HIPAA, other things of that nature. And obviously our students are the most vulnerable and highly targeted population. So we try to put things out there that help them and put in guardrails, such as the disabling of that feature from the last presentation. Here's some of the strengthening efforts. We have a lot more. These are just a few that I picked. Self-service reset of your password. You don't have to call the help desk to reset your Dutchess password anymore. It's actually available through your account. We also have risk-based conditional access policies. That means that there are automatic rules in place that look for where you are, how you're signing in. And if it looks abnormal, it's going to challenge you to identify yourself.
I want to start real quick on
yeah.
the password thing, just so you're aware. I asked Joe, when was the last time the average user reset their password here at Dutchess? And for the majority of the school, it was over a year. That's unacceptable. So we're going to need to enforce password resets for pretty much the entire campus at some point in the near future with notification. But usually best practice is at least 90 days, maybe a year. But there's folks that's been here many years that have never changed a password. And some of them are very simple. Sorry,
Yes,
Jeff.
no, absolutely. It's a good point. Also this year, we brought in a managed detection and response for PCs, identity and data. This is actually a combination of a human team of people with the software that we have, which is a blend of AI and machine learning. that actively search to see what's happening with the PC or the identity. This kind of goes back to the risk-based policy. If you're trying to log in from somewhere outside the country, these are the policies and some of the alerts that we get here in IT. Centralized software and asset management. Having this oversight and control of assets is important. You can't protect what you don't know you have. So patching and updating these in a timely, regular cadence is very important. And we have external partnerships with the CISA and our virtual information security officer, which is a security consultant. So we have outside expertise, third party looking at us and telling us what we don't know and telling us how to improve. Continuous protection and strategies that we're doing right now. We do monthly phishing training internally. We track the data, we look at what's failing, and we try to improve on that. That's also a requirement through the new SUNY information policy. We prioritize the vulnerabilities that we get from those third-party assessments I mentioned. And we also get continuous alerts that we get from intelligence agencies.
We also train all new employees, have to go through a cybersecurity awareness training as well before they start using the equipment first time.
Correct. And new data and backup protection is what we have. This helps with protection against ransomware, and it improves our disaster recovery if our data should get corrupted in any way. And lastly, part of the guidance piece here is the new information security policy framework, which just came down from SUNY. This standardizes us. It keeps us accountable and honest in security. It holds us accountable and makes us really build the policies and strategies we should have. This is sort of a vision of the way I see our cybersecurity being taken forward. Cultures always sits at the top. Generally speaking, it's about mastering the basics. Foundational behavior and practices are really what change everything. And that actually informs every other layer here, and that embeds and builds those underlying layers. And when you have that sort of transcend that way. Managing risk, we need to create a risk posture. We need to have a sort of like an appetite. Obviously, it's going to be high because of the nature of our business, but we want to know things that are either acceptable or unacceptable. Strategy, obviously, we want to build a strategic plan for cybersecurity, communicate along the way, and justify the investments, upskill staff. And obviously, leadership is the bedrock of all of this. Your buy-in from our president and the trustees is very important, that cybersecurity is prioritized and heard throughout these layers. And the road ahead, we're doing our first tabletop exercise tomorrow. That is a simulated scenario. It's an attack on our environment. It's going to be a role-playing of sorts to inform our decision and our strategy plan currently. Business continuity survey. We want to go to key department heads and see what, if you didn't have technology, what would you need from IT? And let's build some strategy and some disaster recovery around that. And then continued improvement with our culture. It's a shared responsibility. It's a team sport. We want to adopt new policies and sort of build that culture. And that's it.
Jason, if you would quickly talk about the phones,
Yes.
the installation and training that you're doing.
Yeah, so as I mentioned and I touched upon earlier, we've deployed about 258 laptops. We don't just put the laptops and the monitors on a screen, on people's desks and leave. We actually have a full training that happens when they receive that equipment. In addition to, so their typical desktop now will have a double monitor, a laptop that's movable, but also sets up as a docking station with a laptop and a mouse. It also integrates with our new phone system that we have, which is Microsoft Teams phone system by Audio Codes. And the phone system now is completely implemented. And we actually have almost all of the 911 issue done now. So I'm happy to say that 911 is working. In addition to that, the phone system itself integrates with the software. So now we have options now when we want to communicate. We can use the actual physical traditional phone that you want to use, or now you can actually also use now your computer workstation, which actually has Microsoft Teams, which can also receive and send calls as well. So it also even helps from an accessibility point of view, as well as for meetings and collaboration So we're moving ahead pretty well with that, and we have a training that is done on the hardware. That's about 30 to 40 minutes, but then now also this week, starting this week, we're also doing training on the software that's in the computers itself. So folks will get introduced to Microsoft Teams, the software, as well as OneDrive, and best practices for how to utilize the equipment, and as well as the software that's there. Thank you, Christian.
Seems like you gentlemen have a lot going on right now.
Yeah,
If there's simple things, like, you know, I work in an institution where I have to change my password every 90 days. So hearing that people have had the same passwords for years, I think you have a lot of catching up to do. But it seems like you're both enthusiastic and ready to hit the ground running, and it looks like a great plan. So keep us posted, but keep up the hard work and kind of pedal to the metal, because it's gonna be it's a lot of catching up.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Quick question.
Who else participating in the tabletop exercise?
So that, I think, it's, Beasley's, yes, right?
Yes, sir.
Beasley Securities is helping us with the tabletop exercise, and we're gonna be actually they're gonna be working with us. We're gonna have some folks from finance department as well, and HR as well, as we practice this particular role. I've done one of these once before as well, and we basically did one of these where we actually threw everything that you could think of at one time. So we had an active shooter situation, the network was down, you named it, and we had to go through the whole exercise. And it's very helpful to go through these things, because one, it identifies that as much as you prepare, you're not prepared. There's always something. So this helps to get all of those different scenarios in place so that we'll be better prepared.
Thank you.
I have one just comment. I now teach at a university that doesn't allow the call forwarding, the
Automatic.
email forwarding.
Yes.
The college I taught at before allowed it. And what I like about not being allowed to do it is that I don't make as many mistakes around forgetting where I am and answering something from the wrong account. So having done that a few times when I came to the new university, now I'm sort of like, I have to be much more aware of where I am all the time, and that's really good.
That's good. Well, that's a great side effect.
Yeah.
Great.
Sarah, that kind of like sparks in me. I think it also helps to create a healthier work-life balance. I was on
Yeah.
vacation a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
and I didn't have access to my organization had cruise ships blocked.
Yeah.
So I couldn't access my email on the ship, and I was calling my office from my phone. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have access to email. If you need me, just call me. And they're like, Anne, just like, you're on vacation. So I think when people kind of have those barriers in place, that even if maybe they don't have a healthy work-life balance, the organization kind of sets it for them that, no, you're in Europe or wherever, your email can wait until you get back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Moving on to our liaison reports, the foundation.
Gates game was sold out with 150 tickets. The foundation board meeting will be this Thursday. And additionally, Chair Lisa Morris has resigned from the foundation board. There are 7 upcoming events, and we'll reading them. I will point you to the foundation's website for a brief report.
Thank you for that. Association, Ms. Cloud and Mr. Dupree.
That meeting.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Our meeting will be the 30th.
okay. We look forward to hearing from you in October then. If no one needs a break, I am going to move on to our regular board meeting, call the meeting to order. Do I please call roll?
Mr. Frank Costello,
Present.
Mr. Stephen Caswell, Miss Dara Cloud. Here. Mr. Michael Dupree,
Here.
Miss Angela Flesland,
Present.
Miss Lisa Gardy, Mr. Ibis Guzman, Mr. Michael McCormick,
Present.
Miss Linda Pratt. Here. Mr. Ryan Shook.
Here.
Quorum present.
Here's another. Our newest board member, Mr. McCormick, can you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could stay standing for a moment of silence for our men and women who are fighting for our freedoms. Remember that special person that cannot be here. Without them being here, we will never be the same. Thank you.
Everyone had an opportunity to review the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Second. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda is approved. Moving on to the election of officers, and then turn this over to Joya.
Ms. Pratt, as chair of the nominating committee, please report on the deliberations of the committee.
The committee solicited nominations for the offices of chair, vice chair, and secretary. The nominations are Chair Angela Flesland, Vice Chair Michael Dupree, and Secretary Linda Pratt.
Are there any additional nominations from the floor? Hearing none, the nominations are closed. The question is on the election of Angela Flesland, Chair, Michael Dupree, Vice Chair, and Linda Pratt, Secretary. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Motion carries unanimously. Angela Flesland's chair, Michael Dupree's vice chair, and Linda Pratt is secretary. Congratulations.
I just want to thank Dara for her service as secretary. Unfortunately, we have term limits. So Dara was termed out of being able to run for secretary, but I think once she's a little bit more comfortable in her new role that she's in her main job, hopefully we'll next year get her to step up for a little bit bigger role. No one signed up for public comments. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes of the July 22nd meeting?
Yes, I move to accept the minutes offered.
Thank you. Second, all those in favor? Any opposed? Resolution carried. Moving on to the academic and student affairs. So there's a resolution that was tabled last month. So I am going to make a motion to remove the student leadership and campus engagement through graduation boards from the table. Is there a second on that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now this resolution can be read.
I, Ryan Shook, offers the following resolution to move its adoption. Whereas the Board of Trustees of Dutchess Community College upholds and promotes values of leadership, civic engagement, inclusion, and student success as essential components of the educational experience. And whereas the development of student leaders and the strengthening of campus community are vital to fostering a sense of belonging, personal growth, and institutional pride among the student body. And whereas active participation in college-recognized student clubs and leadership roles contribute significantly to student development, academic persistence, and preparation for success beyond graduation. And whereas the board supports efforts to further encourage student involvement, recognize exemplary campus contributions, and celebrate the diverse leadership demonstrated by our students. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Dutchess Community College formally endorses the implementation of graduation cords as a symbol of distinction for students who demonstrate meaningful leadership and sustained participation in college-approved student clubs and organizations. And be it further resolved that eligibility for such recognition shall be limited to students who have actively participated and contributed to officially recognized and approved campus clubs as verified by appropriate college personnel and standards established by the Office of Student Activities. And be it further resolved that the introduction of graduation cords for club involvement in campus leadership shall serve as both a recognition of achievement and a visible celebration of the values of leadership, community building, and shared responsibility championed by this board. And be it finally resolved that the college administration shall establish appropriate guidelines and procedures to assure equitable and consistent implementation of this recognition and to communicate these opportunities to all eligible students.
Is there a second?
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, actually, can I ask for unanimous second?
Yes.
That would be nice. All in favor would be unanimous.
Aye.
Hi.
Ryan, I just want to commend you for your hard work on this. Kind of the second you got on this board, you took this and ran with it. And I think what I appreciated most was the research that you put into this and the consensus that you built to do this. You didn't just kind of throw this out there and say, this is what I want to do. You had everything lined up for why this was in the best interest of the students and the college. So I think that if anything, it shows to the kind of employee that you would be in the future, and the kind of person that you are, that you put this much into this. So I totally commend you on this, and I think we're all excited to support you and this effort.
You footnoted.
I know.
There was so many, but there was.
Yeah, there was.
Gotta tell you.
Yeah, you did a great job with it. Is there any further discussion on this?
No other than congratulations.
Thank you.
Definitely. All right, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Congratulations. All right. Do we have anything for board policy this evening?
Yes, our last meeting was August 13th.
Yep.
And the policies that, the committee reviewed multiple policies scheduled for review during the year, schedule of that. All proposed changes will be first presented to the president's executive leadership team before returning to the committee for full consideration. If significant revisions are required, those revisions will be shared with the appropriate shared governance bodies across campus. Then we had informational updates. The committee was provided a copy of the board action plan, which was approved by the board via resolution 2025-39 on April 30th, 2024. A finalized progress report on the plan will be brought back to the committee in December for review and in January for the final review by the full board. And then we just got the same updates as the finance committee did.
You're gonna read the resolution?
Okay, so now I'm switching to finance. There's no board resolutions. I mean, no board.
Sorry, I thought we were in, my apologies.
There's no policy resolutions.
Moving on to finance and facilities.
Yeah, so I did the committee report already.
Yeah.
So we have 3 resolutions tonight. The first one is, I, Linda Pratt, offer the following resolution and move for its adoption, whereas Dutchess Community College has submitted a new funding request for a capital project for FF&E and technical replacements and upgrades with a total estimate cost of $500,000 to the SUNY Office for Capital Facilities. Whereas upon approval in the SUNY Board of Trustees, the project will be submitted for inclusion in the state budget as a new capital appropriation in the 2026-2027 budget cycle. The state funds would cover the state share of 50% of this project. The sponsor share of this project is $250,000, would be funded through capital chargeback funds. Now therefore be it resolved that the following capital project is hereby authorized and approved, and in the amount indicated below, the $500,000 to be split 250 and 250. And be it further resolved that this resolution will be forwarded to the Dutchess County Legislature for its consideration.
First, second.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carried. Thank you. Just to remind you, to make it a little bit easier, since this one is kind of lengthy, you only have to read the first whereas and the results.
Thank you for that reminder. I'm not used to reading.
I know, that's why I was like, Steve would be.
So I, Linda Pratt, offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas Dutchess Community College has submitted a new funding request for a capital project for Dutchess Hall renovation and addition. addition and design with a total cost of $3,219,000 to the SUNY Office for Capital Facilities. Be it resolved, it is hereby determined that pursuant to the provisions of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, 8, and do I have to read all of these for them? Review Act, and accordingly and is of a class of actions which do not significantly impact on the environment, and no further review is required, and be it further resolved that the following capital project is hereby authorized and approved in the amount indicated below, which is the $3,219,000. Further resolved that this resolution be forwarded to the Dutchess County Legislature for its consideration.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries. Final resolution for.
And the final resolution, Islander Pratt offer the following resolution and move its adoption. Whereas proposals were solicited for the design services for child care Head Start Infant Suite on RFP DCC 2025. And be it resolved that the contract for the design services for a child care Head Start Infant Suite be awarded to Lothrop Associates Architects, DPC, White Plains, in an amount not to exceed $69,900.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Thank you very much for reading all of those. Moving on to Personnel and Community Relations, Mr. Dupree.
Thank you, Chair. We had our meeting earlier today, as I told the rest of the board. We had a wonderful, quick, brief presentation on the new orientation hires, the orientation for new hires, that Dr. Kwong presented for us. You'll be seeing more of that, but this is a great way to standardize all new employees. Once a month or so, we together to go through the process. That would include going to IT, everybody else, so you can make sure that we're training them correctly. Because I didn't know this either, and I felt guilty because I don't change my passwords every 3 months, because I just learned something tonight. So, okay. We also went through a review of various legal updates, including the fact that the odd and sort of wacky Zeza lawsuit has been agreed to go no further, no claims from either side. We also looked at the professional staff titles, congratulating all those people who are changing to new titles. And we are going to be recommending adopting the Management Confidential Handbook. There is one little section on page 5 that deals with non-renewals of contracts that I want to have our labor union lawyer look more closely into it to see if it needs to be beefed up. But if he recommends that, we can always just re-adopt that one section of the handbook. So that's about it. Any questions? Let me start with the first resolution. Resolution 2026-06, I offer it and move its adoption, whereas this community college recognizes the importance of providing clear policies, wait a minute. Yes.
Yeah.
Procedures and guidelines for its management confidential employees in order to promote consistency, fairness, and transparency in the workplace. And whereas now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Trustees of Dutchess Community College hereby adopts the Management Confidential Employee Handbook as presented, effective immediately. And be it further resolved, the President of Dutchess Community College or their designee is authorized to implement the provisions of the handbook and to make such administrative updates as may be necessary to ensure compliance, applicable laws, regulations, college policies, with the understanding that any substantive provisions shall be brought before the Board of Trustees for approval. And be it further resolved, the Management Confidential Employee Handbook shall be reviewed on an annual basis and be approved by the Board of Trustees no later than July 1st of each fiscal year. And be it further resolved that a copy of the Management Confidential Employee Handbook shall be made part of the official minutes of this meeting.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries.
Thank you, fellow trustees. I offer a resolution number 2026-05 and move its adoption. Whereas it's been determined that to meet the needs of the college, the following new titles need to be created. Those titles are Assistant Vice President of Administration, Associate Dean of Emerging Technologies and Innovation, Associate Director of Cybersecurity, Associate Director of Enterprise Applications, Associate Director of Human Resources, Associate Director of Infrastructure, Associate Director of IT Operations, Project and Sustainability Manager. Whereas Section 35 of the Civil Service Law requires the title termination of positions in the professional service be made by the Board of Trustees, now therefore be it resolved that approval is hereby given to create the aforementioned titles above.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries.
Thank you. I have a resolution 2026-07 and move its adoption. Whereas contract negotiations with Dutchess United educators have not been concluded, now therefore be it resolved The salaries for 205, 206 for professional staff members represented by due be continued at their present annual rate pending completion of contract negotiations and or further action by the Board of Trustees, if any, and be it further resolved that salaries for 2025, 2026 for management confidential employees be continued at their present annual rate pending further action by the Board of Trustees.
First, second. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the resolution carries. Final
Thank you.
resolution.
Thank you. And for resolution 2025-08 and move its adoption. Whereas the Board of Trustees of Dutchess Community College is required to establish a schedule of regular meetings for the conduct of official college business, and whereas, now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Trustees of Dutchess Community College hereby adopts the following schedule of regular board meetings for the 2025-2026 year, which shall be made part of the official minutes of this meeting, and be it further resolved that all regular meetings of the board shall be duly noticed and held in accordance with applicable law and college policy.
First, second. Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, that concludes our resolutions for the evening. Moving on to the report of the student trustee.
Hello, everybody. We kicked off the semester with a great turnout at our welcome events. First, Conklin Hall held a Decorate Your Space activity in the atrium. The next night, we moved outside the Conklin field for a bigger event with tie-dye, inflatables, cotton candy, and a photo booth. Both events were well attended. Falcon Fest was a lot of fun, and we want to keep that energy going. The event brought together campus services, clubs, and community groups with hundreds of students participating. The Student Government Association is also starting to plan a SGA Awareness Day, similar to Falcon Fest, but this event will focus on student government by sharing our goals, connecting the students, and encouraging more involvement. Recently, Party Pros visited the DCC in Fishkill and made custom street signs for our students. We also held a jazz coffee house in Washington Quad with Keith Marks and his band. The campus blood drive kept the technicians busy all day, so it appears we had a strong turnout, although I'm still waiting for the final numbers. The end of September includes trips to Dubois Farm for apple picking, a performance by mentalist Robert Channing, and the first student activities trip to Jiminy Peak Adventure Park. October brings many campus traditions, including the trip to Headless Horseman, the annual Bound Hall Ghost Hunt, and the DCC Fall Family Festival, and of course, the 25th annual screening of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We are also reviewing some SGA bylaws that were put into place during COVID. Our goal is to update them so they better fit the needs and operations of students today. With everything planned and in motion, this semester is shaping up to be both lively and memorable, providing students with plenty of chances to connect, get involved, and feel at home on campus. Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like you guys are off to a very busy start, just a few weeks into the semester. All right, moving on to my report. I want to start off by congratulating our very own Michael DeGrey. On Friday night, Michael, Peter, and I were up in Saratoga for the New York Community College Trustees Association dinner, where Michael was one of the honorees. It was a very exciting night, and there is a plaque that we have. So one was given to him and one was given to the college, so that will be hung for everyone to see. But it was a really nice.
Thank you.
Night.
And I quickly thank Joy and Angela for being the masterminds behind this.
I don't know what you're talking about. The SUNY All Grant Funded Project Advanced Coaching Sessions to support adult learner enrollment concluded on July 31st. 37 faculty and staff reached out to over 400 prospective adult learners. The efforts resulted in 160 coaching appointments, 125 fall applications, and 35 registered students. So a great way to kind of increase our student enrollment. DCC Cares is proud to announce that Surviving to Thriving project has once again received funding from Dutchess County Department of Community and Family Services. This provides food support and resources for housing insecure youth to meet their basic needs. The funding also launches Rise, a new job readiness program for housing insecure students aged 18 to 21. Just want to thank everyone for that. The admissions office, together with the aviation program, faculty and students promoted the aviation program at the New York State Air Show. August 23rd and 24th, held at the Orange County Airport, which drew over 24,000 spectators from across the Northeast. To highlight the efforts of DCC and our programs. I think that's such a great way to reach out to students when you always look at how popular that event is. As Ryan said, Falcon Fest was a huge success with over 800 students enjoying the 2 days of activities to learn about student clubs, DCC offices, etc. The Counseling Center has been working hard to recognize Suicide Prevention Month this September. As part of these efforts, cabling events were happened on September 8th and 9th to share mental health resources and promote help-seeking behaviors by reducing stigma. We received a $38,000 grant from the JetBlue Foundation to help support the next generation of aviation professionals through its pilot and aviation management technology programs. So this funding will support a range of exciting hands-on initiatives, including learning experiences with the PFC High School Aviation Club, weekend programs with the Hudson Valley Regional Airport, expanded summer flight academy in partnership with the U.S. Flight Academy, and community outreach events throughout the Hudson Valley. DCC also received $315,000 from SUNY Operational Aid. This funding will support program expansion in advanced manufacturing, our mechatronics, and green jobs and sustainability areas like our HVAC programs. We have had a busy presence on social media. There was coverage of Falcon Fest, the therapy dog Charlotte, which I was very quick to hit like on. And then the SUNY system comment shout out also on Charlotte, the therapy dog post kind of shows that those things are so popular on social media. I want to congratulate Felicia, our diversity and compliance director, for launching a new faculty and staff book club. The first reading selection will be Social Justice for the Sensitive Soul, fostering meaningful conversations around DEI and campus climate. We have some exciting news is Dana still here?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are, you're hidden from me. So Dana Gavin, director of our writing center, finished her book titled Generative AI and the Future of the Humanities. It's been accepted by the Literature, Culture, and Media section of the Palgrave Macmillan and will be published later this year. I'll stick on Dana for this. So Dana has also been selected to participate in SUNY AI for the Public Good Fellows. This inaugural year for the AI Fellows, and Dana was one of 20 participants from an applicant pool of over 200 people. So very exciting. Yeah, I thought you left for a second when you were hitting there. I couldn't see you past Laura. Then we also have Christian Sabatelli is an adjunct faculty member and writing center professional tutor. He has a new book of poetry titled Personal Mythologies. And Sam Rebeline, a writing center professional tutor, has written his third book titled Galloway's Gospel, and that is available for purchase as of today. So congratulations to them. So it's really awesome to see all of that going on. Then we have Tammy Powell-Kopelak has been working with the Office of Accommodative Services to test out software that allows for handwritten and on-screen PDFs and notes to be formatted onto real text. This contains the appropriate information so that those notes and those handwritten equations can be made accessible for those whose vision requires the use of a screenwriter. So often to see so much going on so early in the semester. Everyone's obviously been really busy, so I will turn it over to the president for your report now.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
re-election to the chair and to all of our new officers as well. Let's give them a round of applause. So I'm going to ask Scott to provide us with an enrollment update. This is a census day report, and census day was yesterday. So this is the point in the year when we officially count numbers. So Scott.
Sure. It could still change a little bit because you still have late start classes or the census date is later.
We'll also have some of those who haven't paid yet, who might get, but these numbers are not gonna change significantly at this point. So as of today, we have 4,644 students. That's an increase of 270 over last year, or 6% over last year. It's been growing for the past couple of weeks, a lot of late enrollees, so that was great to see. We've made significant progress towards our widely important goal for the third year in a row. Started around. So got a little ways to go, but maybe a year or two to keep this momentum. Full-time enrollments up 55, part-time up even more, 215. We had 69 more new students than last year. Usually this is the time of year where I put our enrollment into context for the SUNY system. The first week of September every year, IR offices let SUNY know how enrollment is looking and have to project some things. And usually the next day it's available for people to look at in the business intelligence system of SUNY. For whatever reason this year, they decided not to let us see it. Makes me worry about what they may be seeing enrollment-wise at the system level, but they're being cagey about it. I know there are things going on, certainly in terms of international student enrollment, that they may not want out there yet. At least one of the big SUNYs has said they've lost over 700 international students, and that's a big deal because those students pay more than regular students do and are not significantly discounted. That college actually had 1,000 more new students, but they have a $2 million deficit in terms of what they're expecting to. For us though, and I checked this with Don, our loan looks like it's about $250,000 above what our budget expectation was. So hopefully that can flow through the rest of the year, get us up to $500 million. Programs seeing increases with air conditioning, aviation maintenance, business transfer, business management, criminal justice transfer, elementary ed, engineering science, general studies, which is up almost 100 students compared to last year. Human services, mental health assistant, and nursing. We also have 56 more non-matriculated students than we did last year. Only a few programs with significant declines, communications and media arts, exercise science and wellness, and the largest decline is in our direct support professional micro-credential, which is about 50 students less. But we're still trying to get 10 to 15 for the start late start. We have nearly 200 students who are eligible for Studio Reconnect program for free college for 25 plus students in high demand programs. I estimate maybe 40 to 50 of those would have been here without the connect. Many of them were already here. Now the new students, many of them are already committed. Before the connect was even announced. So it's not that a huge increase from us. That said, we have 160 plus more students who are over 25 years of age this year than we did last year. We've been recruiting those students very heavily. We're also up in terms of traditional students, which may be a bigger win this year, given the competition point, but it's the non-traditional adult students where it is really strong right now. Our ASAP program, initial ASAP program, we got our goal of 150 students. ERP student loans up 20% over last year, and it's now up over 100. And we also have a strong trio cohort. And finally, in the residence hall, we had 318 students, up 23 over last year. And again, they're the third consecutive year of significant. Any questions?
A lot of good news.
Good job. Any other questions for Scott? Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. So today was a busy day on campus. Not only are we having this board meeting, but thanks to Michael Dupree, Trustee Dupree, we hosted Dee Dee Barrett and Speaker Hasty here at the college this morning. Give them a tour of the campus, including the food pantry, the residence hall, and childcare as well. They seem to have a good time. The speaker his office put out a press release that was favorable. And so, thank you, Michael, for coordinating that. We also just wrapped up, because Susan is here, I know that we wrapped up a nice sort of public hearing on campus that came up without event, and I want to thank Susan and Matt, Dennis, Jason for working with NYSERDA on making this happen, coordinating security, and to the entire community for their support. We closed down Dutchess Hall this afternoon, and I appreciate the residents of Dutchess Hall who were inconvenienced by this, but out of an abundance of caution due to events that happened last week as well, we wanted to make sure that we were on the safe side. And so thanks to everyone who came together to make sure that this was a day that was safe, and where we hosted partners at the state level. I want to recognize some trustees, including Michael Dupree again,
Yeah.
because in addition to receiving the New York Community College Trustees Award on Friday evening at a wonderful chicken dinner.
Yes.
Some of us were present yesterday when Michael Dupree and his husband, Michael Fleischer, were honored by the community foundations of the Hudson Valley for their philanthropic activities within the Hudson Valley. So thank you so much for what you do, not just for DCC, but for our entire community. Michael, and do pass congratulations.
Oh, well, thank you.
To Michael Fleischer as well. I also had, along with Diana, my wife, and I had the opportunity to attend the House of McQueen one Saturday evening, the end of August, to a packed audience, a bright show, a lively show. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to attend. The use of video and so forth, a minimalist set, but a fast-moving play was fascinating. So congratulations, Dara. I'm told that we have students who are planning to make the trip down to see it, and hopefully they can get to talk to members of the cast as well.
We'll talk, yeah.
I think we might have a hug.
For sure.
Okay.
And finally, congratulations to our newest trustee, Michael McCormick. Welcome to the Board of Trustees. Michael has been a graduate of DCC, a Hall of Fame member. He is an architect in the community, and that will come in handy, Dennis, as we work to transform the campus, but has been really a giver and a generous individual in the community, serving on a number of different boards, including New Vance as well.
Westchester.
Yeah, I was a little confused, right?
We're on that board together, and we're not on the advanced board. So. Yeah.
And
Says Raymond on that.
that's right, Raymond's on there too.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Our portfolios.
So, thank you for your choosing to join us. Finally, I want to shout out this month the hidden figures and unsung heroes who are administrative assistants, program assistants, executive assistants across the college. These are individuals who have their fingers on the pulse of what's happening in their departments and across the college. They can be counted on to handle the most sensitive issues and situations. their confidants and gatekeepers and security, no offense, Matt. Their customer service specialists and FOIs as well. They wear multiple hats, and so I invite you to join me in thanking and commending or unsung heroes for the month who are administrative assistants, executive assistants, program assistants, and so forth. So, Madam Chair, that's my report.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. I just want to point out, Michael has wanted to be on this board for a very, very long time.
What was the delay?
So Michael is really, so I think that your expertise, as Peter said, and I love your story because you and your partners all kind of met while going to school here and then all went on to receive your architectural degrees and opened a business together and never forgot where you came from. Your partners were sitting behind me at the honors convocation and, you know, you have scholarships, you have really stayed involved in this community. And I think with the amount of building that we have as a college, having a architect on this board right now is going to be invaluable. So you are serving on the Finance and Facilities Committee now, where your expertise is most needed. So,
Hey, if you're only on one committee, you're lucky.
That's a big.
committees are being
It's a
looked
really
at.
Complicated. one.
It's correct, so.
Oh, thank you. And it's in my heart.
I know,
So
I know.
it's a pleasure and an honor to be part of this board.
Thank
It
you.
really is.
Is there any further business coming for us this evening?
I just wanted to make a quick note. When I was on campus today, the League of Women Voters was here to register students to vote. There are no students around, but I'm hoping, Ryan, that you can impress on young people the importance of registering to vote, because I know how frustrated people can get over thinking they don't have a voice. Your first voice, your first ticket in is that vote. So, and the League of Women Voters are here, I think, once a week for the whole day. And it's for women who were delightful. And like I said, it's nonpartisan. You can register however you want to vote. They're just, they'll be happy to have some customers there for the vote.
The date of our next meeting is October 28th. We will also have our meeting with student leaders that evening, our dinner with student leaders. So if the board members can just kind of block out your calendars a little bit earlier that evening. That's always a really, really nice event. So I look forward to that. Seeing no further business, can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, everybody, get home safely.